And with that, we now return to one of our co-chairs whose clinical expertise and leadership in the field of obstetrics and gynecology have made him a respected figure in both medical and academic circles. He has been a guiding force in shaping reproductive health services in Sri Lanka. Professor Sanath Lanerolle is the past president of Sri Lanka College of Obstetricians and Gynaecologists, past president of Sri Lanka Menopause Society, and past president of the Perinatal Society of Sri Lanka. He has edited the Sri Lanka Journal of Obstetrics and Gynaecology, Sri Lanka Journal of Menopause, and Sri Lanka Journal of Perinatal Medicine. In addition to his clinical expertise and experience, he has vast knowledge in editing, which makes him a perfect fit as the editor-in-chief of the journal. He is the current treasurer of South Asian Federation of Obstetricians and Gynecologists. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is my greatest honor now to invite on stage the co-chair, consultant obstetrics and gynecology, Professor Sanath Lanerolle, on stage.
Thank you very much for your kind introduction. Dr. 𝐂𝐨-𝐂𝐿, guest of honor, Director General of Health Services, and Mrs. Aruni Merceline, President of the Family Planning Association of Sri Lanka, Professor Sir Sabaratnam Arulkumaran, our guest speaker and the keynote speaker today, Professor 𝘗𝐴𝐿-𝐂𝐴𝐻𝑡𝐬𝐿, editor and my co-editor-in-chief, Professor 𝑖න්ද්‍රලාල් distinguished members of the editorial board, colleagues, partners, and friends. Good morning. It is both an honor and privilege to stand before you today at the launch of ReproSex, International Journal on Sexual and Reproductive Health. On behalf of our editorial team, I extend a warm welcome to each of you, and I thank you for sharing this important milestone with us. I would also like to acknowledge the presence of eminent clinicians, researchers, policymakers, public health experts, and our partners in academia and international organizations. Your support and encouragement have been the foundation on which this initiative was built in. I have to thank Dr. Rohan Hattotuwa, the Secretary General of AOF4G, for sharing your valuable time with us, sir. The journey towards the establishing ReproSex began with a simple but profound realization. Sexual and reproductive health is central not only to individual well-being, but also to the broader health and developmental agenda of the nations. Yet, despite the wealth of research being generated worldwide, too often knowledge remains fragmented or inaccessible to those who need it most. We ask ourselves, how do we bridge this gap? The answer we felt was to create a platform, an inclusive, accessible, and international space where evidence-based research, clinical experience, and policy insight could converge. The successful completion of ReproSex 2024, the International Conference on Sexual and Reproductive Health, gave us a momentum, the community, and the shared vision to take this step forward. Today, that vision has materialized in the form of this journal. ReproSex journal has been founded on three guiding principles. Number one, excellence in scholarship. Number two, global inclusivity. And number three, knowledge into action. Why this is so critical? Because sexual and reproductive health touches every stage of life, from safe childbirth to family planning, from preventing HIV and STIs to addressing gender inequality and reproductive rights. These are the issues that determine whether communities thrive or they are faltering. Yet, in many settings, taboos and stigmas persist. Evidence-based practices are sometimes overshadowed by misinformations. Policies may be slow to adapt to emerging challenges, whether it is new contraceptive technology, the consequence of climatic change on maternal health, or complex interface of reproductive health with digital technology and the social media and artificial intelligence. A journal like ReproSex is not merely a repository of articles. It is a voice for change. It is a space where science and humanity interest, where we affirm that sexual and reproductive health is not optional, but fundamental to the dignity, equity, and progress. As the editorial team, we pledge to uphold the highest standards of integrity, transparency, and the academic interest. We will ensure a robust peer review process that is fair, constructive, and up-to-date. We are also committed to nurturing early career researchers, our young generation, giving a space for new voices and offering mentorship opportunities where possible. For too long, young scholars and practitioners, especially from the underrepresented regions, have struggled to find outlets that recognize and value their work. So ReproSex will fill this gap. At this moment, I must pause to express my gratitude to our founding co-editor-in-chief, Professor 𝘗𝘕𝑒𝑙𝑎, a well-known figure in Sri Lanka, and our editorial board and advisors who believe in the idea of this journal and gave their time and expertise to shape this. To our international partners and collaborators, including International Planned Parenthood Federation, Swedish Association for Sexual Education, who lent their encouragement and support. President of the Family Planning Association of Sri Lanka, Mrs. Aruni Merceline, Board of Directors, including Dr. Ruchita Pereira, and all board members of the Family Planning Association of Sri Lanka, and our keynote speaker, Professor Sir Sabaratnam Arulkumaran, and guest speaker, Professor 𝐂𝐨-𝐂𝐴𝑡𝐚𝐢𝐫. Thank you very much for all of you. Then I'll be failing in my duty if I don't appreciate the hard work done by my team. I should say my team because we worked together for a long time. This is Mr. Suchira Suranga, Director Organization, Learning and Organization. Then Mr. Janaranga Devasurendra, Assistant Director, Monitoring and Evaluation. Ms. Asinsala Vijayaratna, Monitoring and Evaluation Officer, for their excellent work behind the curtains to make ReproSex a reality. Thank you very much for three of you. Really, you people have inspired Professor Indralal and myself. Otherwise, we won't be able to deliver this excellent work. I have to offer my heartfelt gratitude to Mr. S. Devasurendra of Ananda Press for printing and releasing this with a very short notice. Above all, I thank the contributors, researchers, clinicians, and thought leaders whose manuscript will breathe life into these pages. Without your work, there would be no journal. Today is only the beginning. The success of ReproSex will depend not on the editorial board alone, but on this community gathered here and beyond. I invite you to contribute your research, reviews, and perspectives, engage as peer reviewers, mentors, and advocates, share the journal with your colleagues, students, and institutions, and most importantly, use the knowledge generated here to transform practice into influencer policy and policymakers. Our aspiration is that in the years to come, ReproSex will not only be a respected academic journal, but also a catalyst of positive change in the field of sexual and reproductive health worldwide. As I conclude, let us remember that behind every article, every data set, every policy recommendation, there are real lives. There is the young mother hoping for a safe delivery, the adolescent seeking accurate information on family planning, the couple making choices about their future, the survivors of violence finding a path to healing, etc., etc. So, ReproSex is dedicated to them. It is dedicated to advancing science in the service of humanity. So, let this launch not just mark the birth of a journal, but the strengthening of a global movement, one that insists on health, right, and dignity of all. While saying that, I conclude my speech.